Hey Tarosphere, it's Holly from Cape Cod Creatures, and I am here today with an unboxing of sorts. It's more of a first impressions for me because I've already unboxed it, but I've tried to recreate the experience faithfully with a few changes of the White Sage Tarot, and I'm super excited to be talking to you guys about this one. So this deck recently, it was rumored that it is going to be going mass market, which is amazing. US Games, I think, is the publisher that picked it up. And it's like a really cute pastel-y, just a gentle themed deck. Lots of animals, lots of nature. And it's adorable. So, all right, without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look. So first things first, I opened the deck, I opened the box, and this little guy, so cute. That's the Knight of Cups. He's drinking a latte, and he's just kind of, or maybe that's an espresso. That looks more like an espresso to me. And he's just kind of hanging out there on the inside of the box. I believe everybody that buys from the artist here gets like a cute little setup like that. And then the deck itself is wrapped in this paper, which was interesting because the deck is wrapped in this cloth with a sprig of sage, but the sage got all caught in this paper. So the sage was actually bigger than this until I tried to extricate it from the brown crinkle, and then like broken sage everywhere. So it's still usable. You can still use it to smoke your deck. Well, not smoke, but you can use it to clear your deck and stuff. You can burn it in like a little shell or something, but using it as a sprig, I think it's cute that she decided to go with the sage. I think either a little satchel would have been better, or a actual like bundle tied with a string. So anyway, you pull the deck out, and then you get these two little notes on the bottom. Well, I did buy the good edition. There's like just the deck, or you can buy like a bundle. So I got the bundle, of course. And then you get this cute little note. It says, "I hope this deck helps you find years of clarity, love, and light." And it's signed by the artist, so that's a cute little keepsake right there. And then I also opted for the one that has a print of the White Sage. So my major beef with this deck is that the first 50 copies got a special card in it, which was this one, and it was titled The White Sage. But only 50 came out. So now when you get this deck, and she's not sure if she's going to be including that card with the mass market edition. Probably not, she said. But to me, it's kind of like if I went to, I'm going to show my age now, if I went to a CD store and I decided that I was going to buy the album Nevermind by Nirvana, and I took it home, and the title track wasn't on the album. Like, it's all the rest of the songs, but not Nevermind. So to me, it's kind of weird that she left the title card out of the deck. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I don't know. I think there should still be an option to get an extra card in your deck if you want one, because it's the White Sage Tarot and it's the White Sage card, and that would make sense to me. But anyway, that's that was like my main thing with the deck, and especially if you discovered it late, there's no way you can get one, I asked. So the deck comes tied in this cute cloth with this cute string. So here's the little sprig of sage. I tried to put it back on there how it was. It's just kind of tucked in there. But like I said, the little brown crinkles, like I have got a mess of sage in there. So like, yay sage, I'm not gonna ever say no to sage, but it would have been, I think it would have just been like easier, like, and it was all like tangled in the brown paper. It would have just been easier to get out if it was like either a bundle or even just a packet of sage would have been nice. But yay, free sage. And then the deck, I ordered the kit that comes with a cloth. So the cloth is created, so I believe it's recycled textile. I know, I'm not exactly sure where the textile itself comes from, but they do use recycled, they call it temple waste, and first I was like, ew, but by temple waste they mean things like dead flowers and offerings and stuff like that. When they clean those out to accept new offerings, they take all of those things to create textile dye. So every cloth that you get is going to be a different size, and it's going to be different patterns and stuff. So that's kind of really cool. So you get a cute little spread cloth to wrap your deck in. It smells amazing because it's been hanging out with the sage. And you can spread your cards out on it, and yeah, so that's a cute little, it's a cute little piece of textile, and the backstory on that is really fun. There's actually more detail in it. I'm going to link to the deck in the description below, so that way you can definitely like check that out a little bit better. So yeah, and then we have the deck. So the deck itself comes in a 2-part box. It is cardboard, very glossy, and there are no finger cutouts, but I am okay with that on this box because the lid does not sit equal to the bottom of the box. So getting the lid off of this box is not a big deal at all. And then of course you've got a little bit on the back there, White Sage Tarot with her website right there. Again, I'll link to it below. So yeah, it's just a standard 2-part chipboard box. It's not the least sturdy, it's not the sturdiest I've seen, it's not the least sturdy either, but it'll keep your deck safe if it's riding around in your purse, but I wouldn't like take your purse and stomp on it, like that kind of a thing. It's not the sturdiest box, it's not the least sturdy box, but it's a good, nice, safe box, easy to get the lid off. The inside's finished in white, so we've got that over there. Oh, I got lipstick on my finger, that's no good looking at a deck. Okay, so you also have this little white book that comes with it. This is a very quick reference guide, like teeny tiny, 1 page per suit. Gives you a guide to which chakra the card goes with. It gives you a little guide about chakras right here if you're unfamiliar. These are just the 7 main ones. The body has, like, I think it's 114, 115 chakras. So those are interesting to learn about, but if you're just getting into it, this is like a cute little primer, and where the cards kind of like indicate chakra, like they kind of line up with chakras. It's kind of cool. Like I've never really seen that in a deck before, at least a deck that wasn't like a chakra oracle. But most decks and stuff are only going to work with the 7 main ones, but there's tons and tons, and it's actually really fascinating, and you should read about it. So we've got the wands, cups, swords, and then we've got the pentacles, and then we've got a page for the major arcana. Now she does have an expanded downloadable PDF, but I looked through it, and it is really, on an artist deck like this, I really love when artists be like, well, this is why I chose the animal I chose, or this is why I chose the art I chose. Like there's a little bit of like, you can kind of follow their thought patterns a little bit, and there isn't too much of that in there. It's just kind of basic descriptions of the cards themselves. So if you're familiar with Rider-Waite-Smith, you don't really need it. It's I don't know, I would browse it, but it's not going to be like, you're not going to be like, oh, I should totally print this out with all that paper and toner. It's pretty basic stuff. Okay, so the deck itself is, oh, and the bottom of the box, there's no ribbon or anything to take it out of there. But it does just come out easy. It's like the cards aren't too tightly fitted. They just like, you just dump them right out and it's fine. So the cards are standard tarot sized cards. So they're, you know, Llewellyn sized. I think it's like 2.5 by 4 and something. So they fit nicely in the hand. The cardstock is okay. It's a little better than Llewellyn. I would say it's on par probably with like Llewellyn, Game Crafter, that kind of thing. It's, Make Playing cards maybe. I think Make Playing cards, the cards are they feel a little bit different. These cards aren't glossy. These cards are somewhere between matte and glossy. And then the other thing, when I opened the box the first time to do this video, the deck was out of order. So I did take the time to put the deck back in order before trying to faithfully recreate the unboxing experience for you guys. Okay, so we start with the Fool, the Magician. I'm not too hot on this representation of the Magician. That's okay. Then we've got the High Priestess. I always love a cat as the High Priestess. It kind of fits. The Empress. I've never seen a seal for the Empress, which is kind of nice. And the Emperor is a walrus. So this is actually kind of genius. I really do enjoy this. And then we've got the Hierophant, and this is where I would love to know like the critter on the card, because I think this is a fawn, but it could be a doe. It could also be a baby cow. And then you've got the Lovers. So on the Lovers card, I like to see animals that mate for life. Seahorses don't. I think it's kind of interesting that she chose seahorses, where seahorse men are the ones that take responsibility for birthing the young in the Lovers card, but this feels like romantic interlude to me, and Lovers card I think is more about long-term relationships, changes in status. It's not necessarily so to me, like the Two of Cups is like new romance and all those brain chemicals that make you feel really good about people, and then the Lovers is more about a couple that's been married for this side of forever. It's about like issues that come in between them, and it's the Lovers card is an awesome card for people that, you know, they've been the people that have known each other forever, and the kind of things that come up in between them in those kind of relationships. Like, you don't know somebody for 1,000 years and not have something come between you, and then finding like a way to continue your relationship. Like, that's kind of what the Lovers is about for me, and less like a, oh, I think you're cute, let's totally make out kind of a card. And then we've got the Chariot with horse imagery, which is kind of, it's been there, done that. And then, but I mean, like, these, don't get me wrong, her artwork is beautiful. I'm just saying, we see the horse a lot on Chariot, and I mean, like, I get it, it's totally a good animal for that, but I don't know. I also like that she kept a black one and a white one. Like, you have the black and the white Sphinx on the Chariot card, so here she kept a black horse and a white horse. So that's kind of cool, I guess. Normally you just see the one horse. Strength, she chose a bear. I'm starting to see bear imagery more and more on strength cards. Usually it's a lion, so the bear is kind of like getting in there and taking over, which is kind of cool, because you think mama bears, like, they're super gentle with the babies all the time, unless something, you know, unless she's got to show her strength and, you know, protect her kids. The sloth, the hermit, this is one of my favorite hermit cards. So normally you would see the sloth for the hangman. I do enjoy that the sloth is a hermit, because I don't know, there's something very introverted about this sloth. Like, he's in a hoodie, he's hanging out, and he just doesn't want to do anything or go out or whatever. Like, I just kind of really, like, he just wants to do his own thing. And that's kind of what I'm getting from this sloth card. I really enjoy that. And then you've got the Wheel of Fortune. There's heavy Egyptian imagery in this deck, by the way. I don't know if that's an Apis bull or if that's supposed to be Anubis. I would have to, again, like, it would be really nice to know which deity she chose here. I think it's Anubis. The long ears are very jackal-like, but sometimes, I don't know, that nose is a little bullish to me. So it would, like I said, it would be nice to know what imagery she chose here, but I'm pretty sure that's Anubis. Then you've got the Justice card, where you've got the heart being weighed against an ostrich feather. Again, a very Egyptian concept. You know, when you die in Egyptian folklore, you travel to the land of the dead, and then they decide if you were a good person in life by weighing your heart against an ostrich feather, and if your heart is heavier than the feather, a big crocodile monster eats you. So let's make sure you were a good person. And then you've got the Hanged Man, which is a monarch butterfly caterpillar, which I think is really kind of cool that she chose that for the hangman, because a hangman is about gaining a new perspective and using that stalemate in life, that kind of like hung up position, to change what's going on. And what better animal to show that than a caterpillar with, you know, about to turn into a butterfly, about to make a chrysalis. I'm gonna make the most of his stale state. This is the Death card. I like it. I don't know, like, the colors and stuff are pretty, and it does indicate like change, and like it's a darker card. It's all right for Death. And then we've got the Temperance card with the butterfly. The Devil. This is the first real showing of heavy Christian imagery, I think. You've got the serpent with the apple, you know, tempting Eve and being all like, oh, you should totally make Adam eat this apple too. And then Adam was an idiot and fell for it. But yeah, no, like this is the first heavy, like the first really like Christian throwback I've seen, Old Testament style. But I do like the way that I like the way that she's painted the snake. It's an excellent image to choose for this card. Although I believe I've been getting into studying like old Christian folklore a little bit, but just because I feel like I should know it better. The serpent was not the devil in the garden. Those are actually two separate entities. So, but like I said, it's a cute image. It's very brightly colored, which is an interesting one to choose for the devil. Anywho, you've got the tower. This reminds me, I don't know if you guys watch Monty Python at all, but this is like Swamp Castle. First we built this castle and it sank into the swamp, and then we built the second castle and that sank into the swamp, and then we built the third castle and that caught on fire, fell over, and then sank into the swamp. And now the fourth castle is standing and is the strongest castle. So that's kind of what the tower card reminds me of sometimes, and this one especially, where the tower is in the act of like tipping over comically like this. This is definitely Swamp Castle. So anyway, we've got the star, which is the first showing of White Sage we've had in the White Sage Tarot. Where you've got like the smoke and it's clearing and there's a star up there. And then you've got the moon, and I forget, honestly, I used to know Egyptian deities really, really well when I was younger, and then my brain got filled with grown-up things like balance sheets and profit and loss statements. So I think that's Thoth, but I could be wrong. And then you've got the sun with a scarab. You've got judgment with a light bulb. I'm not really feeling this one for judgment, where it's like a rebirth, or I suppose a light bulb for like your aha moment, where you're gonna change something big in your life in a positive manner, but and like kind of, you know, but I don't know. Alright, and then we've got the world with an acorn. And I do like the idea of an acorn as the card for the world, because think about, like, it's, you know, very alpha and omega. It takes a big tree to make an acorn, and then an acorn to make a big tree. So it's definitely like your beginning and ending all wrapped into one card. And then you go into the deck itself. This is illustrated. It's not fully illustrated pips. It's artistic pips, but it's not full landscapes or anything like that. It's and some of the cards do kind of draw back from Rider-Waite, and then some of the cards don't. So we'll just flip through really quick. We've got, oh, and then there's a ribbon on each card indicating which chakra the card lines up with, which I don't believe these cards have. I didn't notice so far yet anyway. I'll have to go through and check the alignments and all that, to like see which one, see if I can find any hints for that. But anywho, there might be some memorization going on there. Anywho, we've got the wand suit, the 2, 3, 4. This is very, see, like this is, like, I guess that's kind of like the 3 of wands. There's not much you can really do, but the 4 of wands, it's very 4 of wands. It's very, like, this is a clever minimally illustrated pip. This is all right, you know. Then we've got the 5 of wands, again, not really indicative of a fight to me. You've got the 6 of wands, 7 wands, that's a little more, again, you've got the 6 of wands here, which is, like, it doesn't, but this one, like, this one is like that guy, you know, with the, you know, like I'm famous for saying, that guy getting hit in the junk with sticks. Like, this is very, and then the 8 of wands, this is a little more Thoth to me. I don't know if you're familiar with the Thoth deck, but I believe their wands always tend to like make waffle patterns like this. The 8, like, and in the Rider-Waite-Smith, the wands are like, choo, here's some information coming your way. Like, they're all facing the same direction. And in this one, like, they're all kind of intertwined. So this doesn't really capture like the swift movement of the 8 of wands for me, like the incoming messages and like the get up and go. This is more 9 of wands for me. And then there's the 9 of wands, which is very, you know, this is great imagery for the 9 of wands too. Like, either of these would have worked for 9 of wands. Not so much 8. And then you've got the 10 with the bundle. Like, okay, that's very... And then here you've got the suits. The suits are illustrated. The courts are illustrated again. So we've got Page, Knight, Queen. This is the cover art for the box. And the King. And I find it interesting that she chose birds for wands instead of using them in swords. So, I don't know, just something to kind of take note of. And then you've got the cups, which I enjoy because they're coffee mugs, and I'm basically an addict, so here we go. We've got espresso art, and we've got the, actually, you know what, this is a really clever one for the Ace of Cups. I don't know about you guys, but when you see somebody adding that little squiggly to the top of your latte or cappuccino, like, you're just kind of like, yes! Like, you get kind of emotional and excited, and like, ooh, my coffee's almost ready, and I'm totally gonna drink it, and it's so pretty, and I don't know if I want to drink it because it's so pretty. Do I photograph it? Like, it's just a very positive feeling, and like kind of like, I don't know, I really enjoy that for the Ace of Cups. But anyway, and then we've got the 2 of Cups, which is like the romantic interlude, the 3 of Cups, the 4 of Cups. This one I waxed a little bit on when I first opened the deck. The 4 of Cups is that guy that's sitting under the tree, and he's just kind of very unfulfilled and unhappy, and like, and he, like, somebody's handing him another cup, and he's like, I don't know, So I enjoy that the imagery for this one is, you know, 3 little cups pouring all into one cup, but this cup is still empty. Like, it's kind of like, okay, well, you've got all these amazing things coming in, and you're still not happy. So all these cups are like, you know, I kind of, that's very clever. I really like that. And then you've got the 5 of Cups with the 1 broken cup and the 4 balancing on there. Maybe, like, it would be interesting to see how that comes up in a reading. The 6 of Cups doesn't really do it for me. Childhood nostalgia, don't like children's issues, like kind of like brand new, like BFFs, kind of, I don't know, like it doesn't really bring up 6 of Cups for me. And then you've got the 8 of Cups. So I've got the 6, 5, 8. Oh, I mixed them when I put them back in order. Okay. So we've got the 7 of Cups. I don't really see 7 of Cups imagery in this. That's usually the one where, like, he's got to choose between the cups. It's like one's got a snake in it, and the other one's got some money, and the other one's got a skeleton, and the other one's got, like, some grapes or something. And then you've got the 8 of Cups, where one is toppling over. So the best thing I could think of to kind of coincide this with with the 8 of Cups, that's the one where, like, okay, you've just got to walk away. You've exhausted all paths, like, here, so it's time to move on. The best I can think of for this is the cups are obviously stacked way too high to add any more on. And look, that one is falling off, so it's time to start a new stack. But it took me a little bit to get there. And then you've got the 9 of Cups, which is like one of the big, like fulfillment, but like don't be a dick about winning kind of a card. And then the 10 of Cups, like huge emotional family fulfillment, like, yeah. And then you, okay, so otters are the court suit, are the court characters here. So you've got the Page of Otters, the Knight of Cups, who was on the cover of my box, the Queen of Cups, who is absolutely adorable, and the King of Cups, again, absolutely adorable. And then Pentacles, she uses, oh. Okay, so Pentacles are sand dollars. And again, and you run into the issue where some card imagery works best for others. So this is the 2. I actually like this one for the 2, pretty easy. 3 is a pretty standard imagery. You always see the 3 of Pentacles in some sort of triangle form. I think it's just because it's just, it works for that. So the 4 is like the guy where he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 pentacles, and it's about being in control. But maybe a little too much in control. And that, when I first saw the 4 of Pentacles, I thought that imagery worked much better for the 2 of Pentacles. And it's kind of like, it's kind of the same thing, but I could see where, like, they're all the pentacles are all wrapped up in each other, but it does make me feel like that, like the figure 8 kind of imagery from the traditional 2 of Pence card. And then you've got the Five of Pentacles, that's the one. That's the old lady and the kid on crutches, and they're freezing cold and walking in the snow. I can maybe see that for that. Then you've got the Six of Pentacles. That's the one where the guy actually has the scales, so I could see where she brought in the scale imagery for that. This is one of the most illustrated pips I've seen. The Four of Wands so far, and the Six of Pentacles, I think, are some of the most illustrated pips in this deck. And then the Seven, we've got them growing on a tree. The Eight doesn't really, I mean, like this one, you've got like the traditional like farming aspect of the Seven, where you're like waiting for your harvest. And then the Eight is the apprentice, where he carves all the pentacles, you know, where he's learning his trade, he's becoming a master. But you don't get, like, some of these you get really good throwbacks to Rider-Waite, and some you don't. And then you've got the Nine of Pentacles and the 10 of Pentacles, and then we're on into the Pentacles Court. So you've got elephants for the characters for the court this time, and we do love a good elephant. This is the first one where you actually have two characters for the court. So this is the Queen of Pentacles, and I could see where they would bring that in, because the Queen of Pentacles is often interchanged with the Empress. It's very maternal, very protective. I don't know, just a very caring, giving, like feminine energy card. So I could see where they'd stick a baby elephant in that, but again, it was interesting that it's the first card that she's done that for. And then you've got the King of Pentacles. And then you've got the last suit that I've got lined up here, and it's the swords. So you've got the Ace, the 2, the 3, the 4. This was an interesting one. I'm not really, like, the 4 is the one where, like, it's the coffin effigy thing, and the swords hanging down, and it's usually the card of like the card of like stand still or rest, or like that kind of stuff. And not really getting that here. Like, kind of a little bit, but not really. The 5, actually, like, this one was a little bit subtle but still clever for the 5. The 5 is the one where it's like, well, you've won the fight, but at what cost? Like, all your friends are walking away, and they're probably not going to hang out with you anymore. So it's like, yeah, they've won the fight, but like, look, the ribbon's all cut up. It's like, you won, I guess. Like, you know, that one was pretty clever. The 6, not so, that's, like, I get but the hilts facing each other, and you do get the blue ribbon does kind of make like that watery, like the river kind of an image, like getting to the other bank. But and then the 7 of Swords. Again, this is the one where like the guy's like trying to steal the swords, and he's like sneaking away, but I don't really get that from this either. The 8 of Swords is just this one with a little sword on the bottom. The 9 of Swords, it looks like she tried here to do something kind of evocative of the nightmare aspect, like the worries and like the downward spiral, like kind of, it looks like almost like a spiral to me. I can't tell if it's spiraling downward or upward, like tying yourself in knots over something that you're afraid of. But this one is decent. I mean, this is definitely a 10 of Swords image. We've got all the swords kind of like stabbing down. And then she chose, I believe these are big cats. So it's not any one specific cat either. So you've got, I believe that's a lioness or a cheetah. I don't know. I'm not that up on my wild cats. That's really sad. So you've got the Page, the Knight, the Queen. I think the Queen is a lioness. I'm not sure what the Page was. I want to say mountain lion. And then you've got the King, which is a jaguar or a cheetah. So yeah, those are the images for the cards. Again, I would have liked to have seen some explanation, at least for the courts and for the major arcana, like why she chose the animals she chose, or the deities that she chose. It would have been interesting to see, you know, a little, like, some of the thought behind it. Okay, so as for shuffling, shuffles beautifully. I have shuffled it exactly once before this. You can rifle shuffle just fine. The cards are like the kind of cardstock that shuffles well, but I think they'll be able, like if you want to work with this deck a lot, like you're not going to really have to worry about it chipping or anything. Just, you know, treat your deck nice, that's all. The one thing I will say is if you do like to work with reversals, you can, obviously the backs of the deck are like, okay, can't tell if it's reversed or not, but if you turn it to the side, you can see the bottom title margin pretty easily. So you might want to edge your deck. I'd actually love if they would cut that down, like if that margin would be, like I love that there's no borders. There's no making tarot collectors happy. There's no such thing as a perfect deck. But yeah, it would be nice if they would cut that title space down a little bit. I get that they probably left it for printing issues, or printing reasons, but it would be nice to see that a little bit smaller and see the artwork showcased a little bit more. Alright, so it shuffles really well. You can do the hand over hand method with it too, pretty easily, or you can hand over hand it this way. You can do long way or short way depending on how big or small your hands are. Yeah, I'm not having any issue shuffling. So let's just go ahead and do our 3-card draw reading. One from the bottom, one from the middle, and then we'll do one from the top. Okay. Oh, and so far the printing color seems uniform. On some decks I've noticed that the color on the back is a little different from card to card. The biggest one I've really noticed it on would be the Pamela Coleman Smith Centennial Edition. The blues are different shades of blue. Whoops, US Games. Okay, so we've got the Wheel of Fortune. Some really beautiful imagery there. And then we got the 7 of Pentacles. And we got the Judgment card. Okay, so for a reading for this, I would say okay, so Wheel of Fortune is usually about fate and luck and just kind of not like sitting back and accepting it, but like it's almost like the it is what it is card, and you know, like you can either expect like, but it's also kind of roller coastery. Like there's going to be a change and a shift. It's a little hard to tell whether it's up or down. Usually you use the other cards for context or whether or not the card is reversed. If you read reversals, usually that's a no gusta, and this is a yay gusta. So I don't read reversals though, so I rely on the surrounding cards for context. Where this is combined with the 7 of Pentacles, I would say like, yeah, there's a shift or a change coming for you, and it's probably going to be a decent one. It's also going to, and it's going to involve like you have to really focus on finishing projects. The 7 of Pentacles for me is about not procrastinating. Like you're almost there. The project's almost done. It's happening. All you have to do is like see it through to completion. It's almost a little 9 of Wands for me as far as that's concerned. So like, you know, just pick up your hoe, pick your fruit, and decide what it is you want to do next, because it's also kind of a card for me about like, yeah, you're good at what you're doing, but it doesn't make you happy. And then it combined with it's the Judgment card. So this reading for me, like if I was reading for somebody today, and maybe, who knows, maybe this reading is going to resonate with somebody, this would say, all right, you have a change coming, but in the meantime, like you still have to, you have to like business as usual it. You have to, and maybe even put a little extra effort in, because you can't just stagnate either. So, you know, like, yeah, you might not like what is coming, but something's changing. So like, just do your work, get it done, see projects through to completion. If you have an idea, you know, this Judgment card for me is less about the traditional judgment, rebirth, and change, or like true calling, like that kind of a thing. This is more like a big idea. This evokes an aha moment for me, like a I've had an idea. So it's kind of like if you just do what it is you're supposed to be doing and do it well, eventually something is going to, you know, click and fall into place where you can come into alignment with your divine life purpose. But it's not going to happen for a little while. Like, you have to be patient, you have to wait, and you can't slack off in the meantime, because that's not fair to anybody. So that's kind of that's kind of how I'm feeling about this reading right now. So anyway, it's a decent reading. It wasn't too bad, right? Pretty painless. Okay, so that is the divine, why did I say divine? That is the White Sage Tarot. Again, I'll put links to the deck in the doobly. Thank you guys for watching and paying attention and sticking with me for this 35 minutes. I try to keep the videos short, and it never happens that way. But yeah, it's a cute little deck, and I would say if you have a chance, maybe snag it before it goes mass market. I'm pretty sure she's got a sale on it right now too. I think it's like 60 bucks instead of like the 70 she had it at. So I like supporting the artists. I feel like the decks have a little bit better, they have a little bit better karma, a little bit better energy when you support the artists directly than, I don't know. And the only reason, and at this point I'm happy with this deck the way it is. The only reason I would have to buy a mass market edition is, one, if the PDF that she, if she expands it and turns it into an actual book that comes with the deck. Although US Games is kind of famous for not doing full books. They usually do a little white book, and it's a substantial little white book, but it's not like not amazing. So unless it's going to come with a full-size book and the missing card, I'm probably not going to buy mass print. So but otherwise, like, it's a great little deck if you decide to go mass print, or if you decide to do indie. It's definitely one I would say add to your collection. It works really well. I think it would read really well with children, or people that just need a gentler deck, but also still evokes for you some throwbacks to Rider-Waite. So yeah, that would be the White Sage Tarot, and thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you later, Tarot Sphere. Bye.